Well, Taoiseach, welcome back to the Oval Office. It's good to have you back. And I want to thank you again for the reception I had when I was last in Ireland. Matter of fact, my family wasn't sure we wanted to come home. It was so nice. Look, it's great to see you again. Great chance to return some of the hospitality that you provided me when I was in Ireland last. And I know there are all kinds of old Irish sayings, but my grandfather Finney used to say, "May the hinge of our friendship never go rusty." He had all these sayings, you know. The Irish in America sometimes think they're more Irish than the Irish. But, and I don't think we're gonna let it go rusty. We're vital to each other's economies, we're good friends, and today celebrates 100 years.
That's right.
100 years diplomatic relations between Ireland and America. And as far as that friendship goes, it keeps increasing, not diminishing. And I'd argue it's stronger than ever. Together, we're deep in our economic partnership. There are 300,000. We helped create 300,000 jobs across both our nations. And we're working together to increase humanitarian assistance in Gaza, and we both know there's a whole lot more has to be done. And we're standing together to support Ukraine in the face of Putin's onslaught, the savagery with which he's attacking the Ukrainians. And I want to thank you, Leo, for Ireland's unwavering assistance to Ukraine, including millions of vital humanitarian aid that you provide, millions of dollars. And I'm urging our Congress to do its part, get back in the game of, we were able to find another $300 million, but we have a $60 billion package, and we're really working. So we're up in the hill. I'd ask you to lobby them for me. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke. But I'm urging them from Congress to pass the bipartisan legislation now. It includes a significant amount of humanitarian aid, including to Ukraine and Gaza. And as I said in Belfast last year, we remain committed to protecting peace and progress in Northern Ireland since the Belfast Good Friday Agreement. And like you, I'm glad to see Northern Ireland's executive and assembly are up and running. And I think that's, from my perspective, a very positive step forward. So Leo, thank you again for being here. And as we begin the next century of our partnership and friendship, I've never been more optimistic because, you know, united by history, heritage, and hope, I think there's not a damn thing we can't do together. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, thank you very much, Mr. President, and thanks for giving us so much time over these next few days. And very keen to talk about four main things while we're together. Since we last met back in New York briefly in September at the UN, and since your visit to Ireland last year, it's really good to see the institutions in Northern Ireland up and running. It just makes such a difference to have the Good Friday Agreement properly functioning. So as you know, the Deputy First Minister are here, the Executive Assembly are operating. We'll have our North-South Ministerial Council meeting next month, and the British-Irish Council in June. So really good to see the promise of that agreement, that Good Friday Agreement, being fulfilled again, which is such a positive change since the last time we met. As you mentioned, we've celebrating 100 years of diplomatic relations. The US is one of the first countries to recognize Irish independence, and it's become such a strong relationship since then. I'm very keen to talk about that a bit more, and also the strength of our economic relationship now, which increasingly goes both ways. There's now 100,000 Americans working in firms that are Irish owned here in the US, and we're one of the top 10 investors in the US now. So great to be able to repay some of that interest. Obviously keen to talk about the situation in Gaza as well. You'll know my view that we need to have a ceasefire as soon as possible to get food and medicine in, to get the hostages out, and we need to talk about how we can make that happen and move towards a two-state solution, which I think is the only way we'll have lasting peace and security. And then on Ukraine, just really want to thank you in America for your leadership on Ukraine. We're very worried about the situation there. And we don't think that if Putin is successful in Ukraine, he'll stop there. And we really need your continued support and leadership on Ukraine. and look forward to speaking to the congressional leaders about that as well later on. And we'll have a European Council meeting next week of the 27 EU Prime Ministers, so they're going to be very keen to know what I learned here in Washington, and that's a fight we got to win.
You can tell them that the President of the United States is strongly committed to making sure we provide that aid. Well, thank you very much. We'll get a chance to bring on our delegations, and thank you all for being here, folks.
Do you have any comments, sir, on Senator Schumer's speech on Israel yesterday?
Senator Schumer contacted my staff, my senior staff. He's going to make that speech, and I'm not going to elaborate on the speech. He made a good speech, and I think he expressed a serious concern shared not only by him but by many Americans.
Mr. President,